So welcome all panelists. Thanks for joining and thanks IIFL for arranging the event. And really pleasure to be the moderator for this panel. Now, as we all know, the panelists towards the end, and because of the delay, we do have a request from some of the panelists that we could fast track a bit, and also some of them have other commitments. So probably I'll just get into the jump into the midst of the panel and try to have a sort of a conversation among us. And I'm sure as we proceed, we will also have opportunity for participants to come in and ask questions, right? So panelists already have been introduced, so I wouldn't spend time in talking about panelists per se. I mean, all the panelists do represent some of the leading organizations, NBFCs, who have been there in the business for a long time. And we have also Mr. Hamid, our guest from Bangladesh, who is leading the BD Finance there, as well as we have Sumeru and Kyser, the tech company, who is supporting. So Aksh is basically representing them, right? So with this, let me just quickly ask a question to Sunit Vakharia. Sunit, you represent the Ugrow Capital, and while in the previous panel there has been a lot of discussion, I was hearing about insurance companies, banks, etc., trying to use the digital and various kind of tech pieces together, to basically make customer experience more and more engaging. But we have seen that NBFC or the NBFI, what it is called in India, Middle India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, three countries we have the audience from there. Typically, it's a shadow banking kind of a scenario wherein we have as an industry we have gone through a tough time because first there was auto slump, then there were some liquidity issues, and then there have been a pandemic, right? So all three came in like a sequence, right? I mean, you can't have hat-trick. And India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka being the cricket fans, a hat-trick is considered to be the best way to sort of play the game. So I don't think it could have been any better. So Sunit, let me ask you, you are probably among the youngest NBFCs or NBFI, there, I mean, revitalized and growing very fast with SME focus. Let me ask you a question that, how the tech landscape has been, working for you to, improve the customer experience, because I believe Ugrow focuses a lot or mostly on the SME, right? It's a very select clientele, very niche clientele, very focused clientele, and definitely requires a very, very delicate care in terms of handling the clientele, onboarding them, serving them, etc. So, Sunit, over to you, and just trying to understand from you that how tech has been playing out in your company in last about a year and a half, and especially in last 6 to 7 months. Yeah, please.
Sure. Thanks, Sachin. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are very much audible. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So first of all, thanks for getting me on this panel, and appreciate everyone's time to be patient and listening to us. So just quickly on your question, we are a 2-year-old company into the digital lending space. We are focusing on the SME sector as you rightly captured, and that is where some of the advantage kicks in for us as well. As you said, in a sense, we do not have a legacy. It means I do not have some of the challenges I'm sure other fellow panelists might be facing in terms of the infrastructure, reach out to the customer, having the systems and technology which really reaches out to the customer in a digital way. Some of them are kind of inherent and day zero available to us. And then when we look at from our customer base, we are reaching out in depth and width of the India. So we are trying to reach out and as you understand, SME customers are not one of the most tech-savvy customers. So we try to reach out to a customer who probably doesn't even have a great camera sense, or he understands how to use a digital device easily. So we work in that challenging environment, try to overcome those kind of simple challenges as well. So how technologies help us is two-way. I see my customers in two ways. One is my internal customers, and second is my external, my actual end customers. In both way, we could make some real progress. So now we being native to the cloud and native to some of the niche technologies, all my internal customers were day zero ready to start using Teams, to start using Skype, to start using digital platforms to do all the interactions and decisioning. So from that way, our investments were really from day zero in that direction. And for us, that phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3, in each phase, we're able to handled in a similar way, and we're pretty much ready from day zero from that sense. So it helped us a great way in terms of our investment, and probably being the youngest NBFC helped us to make this work in an effective way. From our external customer view, Sachin, again there we could catch it right. So our investments were again happening in terms of the video KYC, video personal discussion. Those were seen as an opportunity to be investing without a pandemic hitting us. So in the month of April and May, we were actually kind of really ready and started using it over as a platforms where I can reach out to customer without needing to have any physical interaction. So there a lot of innovation and a lot of good work being done by these startups in India has helped to fast track that. So the digital mindset with the growth of technologies and available of solutions at the real fast pace in the Indian ecosystem has help us to overcome those challenges and being ready from a really effective way. And that's something has helped us to not only onboard new customers as well as serve our existing customers in an effective way. I hope, Sachin, my answer encapsulates what you were trying to understand, how we have enabled ourselves to handle this very situation which has happened over the last couple of years.
No, great. I think that's fantastic. So before I jump on, because I know, Sunit, you have a time limitation, and I'll next come to Mr. Kyser, Hamid. So just another add-on question. First of all, I fixed my camera, and I'll tell you later in between that why it was a problem. But Sunit, just wanted to tell you. So SME space, see the personal discussion (PD) is one of the key factor, right? Either the SME comes to the branch, or you have a feet on the street which goes to the SME place, because there is a Reiki or whatever you call it is required, because it's not as simple as that. Digital lending can be done 100%, because you need to assess the basically the cash flows or the income or the asset in various ways, just more than the paper. So how you just a quick answer on this? Have you been able to digitize the PD part also? And is that something you have found some ways, or are you working on something? Because I guess that's one of the bottlenecks, other than the video KYC, which has been allowed as part of the regulatory stuff. But is PD something which you see as way forward, and have you been able to crack that puzzle?
No, I think Sachin said, okay, I'll answer the question in two parts. First part, in terms of the income assessment and making sure you are doing the right sense of lending, that's already happening through the multiple way you collect the data from the customers via API. So that's a simple problem to solve, and I'm sure most of the panelists would agree, and it's done in the NBFC for some time now, and it's a problem solved. Second part to your problem, which is actual personal discussion. So and you're right, in SME space, right, we have to assess the actual factory, whether the person who is showing or industry, whichever it's factory, it's an office or any other outfit. We need to really assess the person who is showing is actually a right office equipment, is showing us the right set of equipments. He's actually sitting in the same office where he's asking for the funding. So how you capture the geo coordinates, how you make sure you're able to look at the location effectively. That is where the video personal discussion has solved the problem largely. The only area probably where there's more work to do, and where some of the areas need to be still completed, made digitized. Example, when you want to do a lending to the SMEs, one of the requirements is to have post-dated checks in some cases. So in PDC, really cannot do digital unless someone signs a check and the check comes to you. So barring those two or three really smaller areas, which really are going to be solved, I'm sure, over technology and as the regulations by the regulators slightly evolve and change. But largely, all the requirements to assess a customer can technically be done via the API-based information collection and via this personal discussion, by making sure all the information is captured, their let longs, their coordinates, their mobile devices information, as well as their factory information or any other outfit information. It is nearly solved to that extent. Sachin, if I answered your question correctly. I think I'm mute,
absolutely.
Sachin.
Yeah, perfectly. Great. I think, Sunit, you really opened the session with a lot of, I think, clarity on this, and I'm going to use throughout the session, because I can see the smiles on the face of my other friends here, and they would really align to that. But let me jump to the market, our neighboring country-friendly ecosystem of Bangladesh. So Kyser, Hamid, I mean, I did see BD Finance is one of the leading player. You are also deposit taking NBFI or NBFC, as well as you have a vast portfolio, including the women entrepreneur loans. you have the retail loans, you have auto loans, so quite a wide spectrum, right? And so how has been evolution of NBFI, NBFC space in Bangladesh in last, let's say, year or so, and especially last 7 to 8 months, when the pandemic has been around and social distancing has been a key norm. How you have been able to sort of use various technologies, and if you could name one or two specific things, because I'm sure Bangladesh regulatory ecosystem, being a South Asian country, it is similar, but obviously every country has its own uniqueness. So happy to have your point of view and get all of us get educated about it. Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you, Sachin. Thanks for inviting me here. And Bangladesh is no exception. What Sunit has already been said. But just to give you an idea about our landscape of the NBFI, we call NBFI here, non-bank financial institution. So currently there are 35 NBFI working in Bangladesh and mostly focused in Dhaka, a one city. So if I tell my 80 to 90% portfolio belongs to one city. So the banking density, I think, is the highest in Dhaka among the world. So we have 60 bank and 35 NBFI in a city. Uh, Organization like us, BD Finance, we have around 1700 crore taka, Bangladeshi taka asset portfolio, as well as 850 crore taka customer deposits. Uh, Actually, when we got went for lockdown in end of March, so earlier we although we have many things in paper like the different model how we can really work in different situation, but actually everybody was like what to do. They don't understand anything. So very few bank and FI, particularly financial institution NBFI, could actually run their operations, and BD Finance is one of them. So in a very limited scale, like we don't have EQIC is in place yet. Just central bank has issued a guideline, uh, uh, I think in February this year, to adopt the EQIC for all the banks and NBFI within 2020 December. So nobody started yet. So we didn't really get take any solution or started customer onboarding through EQIC. And this is absolutely for the individual customer only. Uh, so actually, what we did in March and April and so on, because in now the situation is almost semi-normal. So we are working at office and doing everything manual and in the previous system. But at the time of March, April, May, June, so what we did it like we started to serve the interest of the deposit customer. So that is continued because our staff, they started working from their home, entering the system through VPN, and we made the banking transaction because we cannot pay directly cash to their customers. So we give their bank account credited and also through MFS, mobile financial systems. And on the other hand, the others platform we used to communicate with us was not actually the digital format earlier, but from March onward, our whole team, we used to communicate through Microsoft Teams and Zooms. Uh, to customer end, we paid deposit encashment as well as interest payment, but we hardly able to mobilize fixed deposit as because the your EQIC system was not in place. So we have to take documents and others from customer. So in a very limited scale, from existing customer, we were able to take deposit through WhatsApp and other format. So we used to take their photo and the others document through WhatsApp, and we send to our operations people. They open their account in the from the back. So that is what almost all the NBFC, NBFI in Bangladesh they were practice. But we continued the another lending business for the SME, which is channel financing, bill discounting, and others. So as because they are our existing customers. So other than existing customer, the lending side was almost very limited for all the banks and NBFI because the credit appraisal system, the contact point verification, income statement, these are the platform are not ready in Bangladesh yet, and it is not integrated. So although we can do many things through different system, but it's not integrated. So working from home, we cannot really actually assess the customer and generate the CRG and approve the loan. So it was not actually possible here still. So we need the both manual and digital system. And the credit decision also comes from for many aspects from the board. So we cannot really take almost. I mean, the credit decision is doesn't lies on the management part also. So the operation, if I summarize, so encashment, loan against deposit for servicing interest for the existing customer, and also for SME like who have the earlier limit, giving them that payment was only continuing in that period of time. And even many financial institutions, they are completely off during the lockdown time.
Perfect. So, no, great. I think that's perfect. So, panelists, I know that we have great forum here, but I just saw that Mr. Viral Acharya has also joined, and as you know, day has been running late, and he has been waiting for and he's being our executive governor and globally renowned academician as well as the industry thought leader. So we will not have him wait too long and have his other engagements go out of calendar. So we will try to wrap it up fast. I think a lot of things have been discussed, but I think one questions quickly we will do, and I think we all will get opportunity to hear Dr. Viral Acharya as well. So I thought I'll just make that request because somewhere the delay of day has to make an impact, and I think let's take that, but let's be very focused on our panel, right? I hope it's okay with all of you.
Yeah.
Great. So let me just quickly, great. And so I just put a note out for him in the side window. And so Sarvesh, I know you sent a note saying about the rural part, because I think as we discussed about Bangladesh, how the things have shaped up India, if you see the rural part has been significantly impacted. I mean, while rural economy did not get impacted as much as people said, and there were a lot of schemes like Atmanirbhar Yojana, etc. came up, but NBFCs have had various challenges of adoption, whether it's a collection or whether it's a disbursals. So how has been experience of Adani Capital in last 6 months or so? And did you still have some disbursals happening? Were you willing to do them? And what about the collections? What was the digital adoption in that space?
Yeah. Thank you, Sachin. Am I audible?
Very much. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll be briefly telling about our experience in past 6 to 7 months. And so we are a 3-year-old company, and the products that we serve are bedrock products. So we provide farmer financing. We provide finance towards tractors and implements and used tractors. We provide finance towards small commercial vehicle and used vehicles, and we provide finance towards small businesses which are having a turnover in the range of 25 lakhs to 50 lakhs, and mostly in the services. So, and our ticket size mostly in the range of 2 to 7 to 10 lakhs and not much. So basically all our customer set, the set of customers that we operate through our 60 set of branches, are basically bedrock. And almost 70 to 80% of the customers are not initiated to digital ways of transacting and this thing. So so far so good. We have been able to onboard the customers, do it in a traditional way. But since beginning, we have actually taken this onus on us that we will spend time, energy, and effort towards educating the customer to follow and adopt the digital way. So when we actually started, we have compulsorily made that all the customers, we will actually educate them and onboard them to NACH payment. So almost 95% of our repayment mode, we have actually educated the customers and we have got them into the NACH mode of payments. But that does not stop here. So what happened? So there are 3 4 challenges that we faced after this lockdown thing. So the first was that how the customer can make the payments to our thing, and we also operate through a lot of channel partners. There are almost 3,000 of them. Out of it, 1,000 are prominent one, who are also very important link between our customers and us. So these were also being from the rural area. They were also not very much internalized to the digital way of transacting and doing the business. So what we have done is actually we have found out that to to actually get the customers to transact digitally, either to make an online payment or to download an app and make the payment, whether it is a repayment, whether it is any kind of payments that customer is supposed to be making to us, or whether it is a margin money payment, whether it is a caution money deposit or whatever. So basically, we have actually taken this onus on training the channel partners, because they are the one who are the primary influencer. So we have taken this, that we have actually trained, we have run workshops. So we have done two types of workshop. One is for the health and safety, because being in the pandemic situation, and another is to educate them on the ease of doing transactions through digital methods. So we have run campaigns, and we have done multiple programs for our channel partners, and they've appreciated it. And we have got very good response out of it. And I mean, if I have to share a few data, our digital repayment from the customers, like app based, and this thing was hardly 0.8%. It was before March, and as on today, as on September, it is almost 20%. So we have seen a massive growth in this adoption, and this partly it goes to the training that we have provided to the customers, and most importantly the channel partners. And we insisted the customer to make the payments. We have picked up one customer after another and educated him on the way to adopt the digital methods. Second thing is that mostly our business, being in the rural area, we there are very little ways to do the digital onboarding of the customers. And so barring 2 months, we have not stopped disbursement, and we continue our disbursement after June onwards, because we have seen that the rural, especially the farm equipments and small businesses in rural, were not as much hurt as other businesses, and they wanted to continue doing business, and they wanted to borrow money as well. So our traditional way prior to that was the file was sourced. The file, with along with all physical document, need to come to a branch. There is a going to be a document checker and maker, and then it gets scanned and come to head office, where somebody will authorize and disburse. So it was a long process. It used to take 3 to 4 days to complete one disbursement. But when the branches were not open, actually we have sort of fast tracked the office. We have actually put everything into the digital workflow, and we put a battery of people in our head office, so that they can actually go through and check all the document digital under the digital workflow. And there we created desk of disbursement author and maker. So this was the major change, that without opening the branches, we were able to disburse. We were able to fully disburse, send the money in customers' account or dealers' accounts during the pandemic way. So as of now, I think by September or by October month, we'll be actually in the in terms of disbursement, be almost at pre-COVID level, at the level of February and March. And that is all because we have maintained this constant customer engagement and education of our channel partners. So that's it from my side, Sachin.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think I'll, in the interest of time, maybe I'll request Akshay, Sharad, and Abhishek, all three representing the services organization. Probably, I think, like we got to hear from Sarvesh and Sunit, maybe one or two key points that, from customer experience point of view, what did you find it, adopting or adoption from customer side happening? What did you find something which you would not have done in the past but has happened because of this pandemic, and where we stand in terms of adoption of technology? How it has preponed the whole adoption of journey. So maybe Akshay, starting with you, I think 2 minutes just we will try to sort of go fast, and then maybe Aksh, your turn to basically talk about solutions, what your company brings to the table. Please, Akshay, Sharad, and Abhishek.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Sachin. So just a brief about Magma. I know it's an organization which is into 33rd year of retail financing business. The asset under management is around 16,000 crore. And we have a diversified product portfolio which covers asset-backed finance, SME finance, housing finance, more on the affordable housing side, and general insurance. The overall response to COVID-19 has been on three different levers. One is how do we resolve this particular situation that we are in. How do we build resilience so that we are able to cope up with it in a sustainable way? And then how fast can we return to the pre-pandemic performance levels? And that is going to be an experience which is common to pretty much all of my, the peers in the industry as we speak. Now, there are three critical areas which have come on about, as an experience during this situation. And one lesson that we have learned, and we have learned it the right way, is that health and safety were a consideration before the pandemic, but now it is the consideration, it is the way forward. So all the customer journeys, all the partner journeys, all the employee experiences that we take a look at throughout the 200 plus value chain of our business processes, we have kept health and safety at its core, and bring into account all the tenets of social distancing, all the tenets of retaining that turnaround time, retaining that productivity level, while we have few physical presence in the branches in order to accommodate social distancing. So health and safety is number one. The second facet, which is way too crucial, is that we embrace this as a philosophy that digital is an obligation. The focus should not be diluted by treating it merely as a lever for competitiveness. It is an obligation that we take it very seriously, and we exercise it on a day-to-day basis. The third piece is that digital channels and the mediums of engagements, they require continual emphasis, validation, and evolution to ensure that we stay authentic, always be easy to deal with, be simple, be transparent, and nurture the trust and the relationship in the smallest of the interactions that we have with the customer. As far as the technology play is considered, within a shortest span of time, we went into this massive lockdown in March of 2020. And in April, we launched a survey which covered more than 3 lakh of our customers. And the survey was conducted by 5,000 field officers. These were all empowered with bring your own device tool sets. So of course, the BYOD really came into play. We had a very structured survey that was conducted more to deepen our relationship with the customers, and also to see how soon they will be coming back onto the mainstream. We had chatbots wherein the structured chat was conducted to get the clarity on the moratorium. And of course, the influx of the calls was very high. And this is one of the technology lever that definitely came about. Because we wanted to keep paper to the minimum, the e-signature definitely served as a complementary solution that came up handy. So long story short, all the pieces that we talk about, whether it is collection, whether it is disbursement, the idea was to keep health and safety at the fore for both our employees as well as our customers.
Hi, Sachin, and everybody. Thank you for having us. Um, just introducing Clix Capital very quickly. It's a $1 billion loan book. It's very diversified portfolio. We have corporate, SME, consumer, all of that. I'll just quickly, in the interest of time, jump to what we've done in the COVID and the response and the consumer behavior and all that stuff, not taking too much time. So customers and our employees have always been at the center of everything that we've done, and more so in these times. So from Morat to Atmanirbhar to restructuring, which we are undergoing. So Morat, we launched our 27th March. The Morat was announced, and we launched our Morat digital portal on 1st of April. So we didn't want our customers to be hanging out there without any knowledge of what's going on. Similarly, with Atmanirbhar, we had a fully digital platform to serve our customers for Atmanirbhar, and now restructuring to help them restructure their loans and everything. We are currently working with our LMS providers as well as building our Morat, are building our restructuring portal to help our customers. One more thing that we did in this time is customer self-serve, because not only for our customers but also for our employees. When they're working from home, customer service becomes that much more difficult. And so customer self-serve is, we have a portal and a mobile app which is seeing huge traction right now with our consumers. So yes, Sachin, not taking too much time, that has been our focus. Ease of use, instant, fully digital. and customers and employees are at the center of everything that we're doing.
Sachin, I think you're muted while you're speaking.
Sorry. Yeah, Sharad, very well covered, I think, from all dimensions. And Abhishek, your point of view?
Sure. I come from a wealth management industry, a very different area. Our client segment is primarily HNIs and ultra HNIs. We manage wealth to the extent of 1,60,000 crores in India, primarily targeting HNI, ultra HNI segment. So I feel it's great to hear from all the panelists. And while we sit in a completely different customer segment, we have seen probably the biggest amount of change here. The kind of clients, the kind of staff, the kind of our members who were there in the organization who always felt that it was a very high touch, high engagement business model. And now we all have realized that even without doing those physical meetings, things do work. And whether it's embracement of this technology and digital phase where clients are speaking to RMs and RMs are speaking to clients over Teams, or whether it is the clients engaging with us over various digital apps, that complete diaspora change which we have seen over last 3-4 months has been amazing. I mean, we have seen that clients regularly now engaging with us on Teams, not keen on meeting face to face, all execution of transactions happening, working remotely. So a change of where we used to feel that it's a very close knitted, high touch, high engagement business model now can completely work remotely. So completely different change.
Great, Abhishek, great. So Aksh, I saw that you have been providing a lot of solutions end to end with the open APIs, collection, or basically various kind of touch points, and also being single point of contact for various fintechs. So how does it pan out for you? What is your experience in the last 6-7 months? Because many of your customers, potential customers, are here. So what do you see a story how it's unfolding? Yeah.
Sachin, I'll make two very short points. I understand we are short of time, but on the lighter side, the pandemic has managed to achieve in 3 months what we've been trying to evangelize for the last 5 years. So in India, when you meet clients, digital is everywhere, right? Everybody's doing apps, everybody's talking digital onboarding, everybody's talking video KYC, etc. But remember, as a solution provider, we service 35 plus countries from Far East to Latin America, and really selling the digital story was let's just say it was requiring a lot of effort, and now that has just started finding a lot of more resonance. There's a slight interesting shift from our perspective when we meet clients from across the world, is that while pre-COVID JFM quarter, across the world, the number one thing that we used to hear from clients was AI. Everything was about, hey, how is your solution going to bring AI to my customer acquisition or my debt collection process? Post-COVID, the number one, I think the keyword which keeps coming up in all these interactions is contactless and touchless. And I think, my fellow panelists also touched upon that. We are seeing a large amount of payments collected across our client base, across our 50 plus customers globally via digital mode. This is something that we've been evangelizing for several months, several years, but it was not really picking up pace. But now we see a lot of traction there. Looking ahead in the future, my personal sense is, yes, next 6 months will be about enabling organizations to cope up with this pandemic. But I think the next 5 to 10 years is going to belong to AI and about you figuring out how to reimagine how you do everything around you by using AI. So that's my 2 short points. Back to you, Sachin.
Perfect. No, I think there's a great stuff happening, and video KYC and digital collections and the whole value chain has got digitized. And we would love to have a lot more conversations, but I guess we do have more opportunities in future to engage various panels. But very valuable insights from all of you leading panelists, and especially Mr. Kyser, Hamid. Thank you for coming on board. We don't get so much opportunities to get a point of view from our friends and neighbors, and thank you for that. So with this, I would like to hand over back to Jeevan and request him to invite Mr. Viral Acharya, and really apologies for the delay for what has caused a bit of calendar mismatch. He's joining from US. And so Jeevan, handing back to you. And I think we are the fastest panel, but I think we achieved what we wanted to achieve in this panel. All the point of views are covered. So thanks a lot. Back to you.
Thanks, Sachin.